Well, hello there, people in the internet, and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part 27 of Doki Doki Blue Skies. In the previous episodes, we hung out. Wow, excuse me. We hung out with Sayori, finally, and we talked about things. We expressed that we wanted to be that. Yeah, Sayori said that she didn't want to mention her problems to me because then she would only make me sad, and she didn't want that. But we explained to her that we actually would like to hear what makes her sad, so that we could at least provide a listening ear. And she has sort of agreed, but also sort of not agreed. Well, she kind of like, she was like, maybe. And then we spent the day with, then we spent another day as a group all together at the cafe where that Natsuki introduced to us, to me and Sayori a while earlier. But now we brought Yuri and Monika along too. And then Yuri and I had a bit of a session together in our home, in my home. Our home, as if we were married already. In my home, I mean. And I showed her the poem that I wrote for her when she was sick during that one poem writing exercise we did in the literature club. But we still haven't given her the expensive parchment paper. But that's beside the point. And now we're going to the Taka something else festival, which is where you write pieces of paper and attach them to bamboo or something. I know, and I've seen it before, but I don't really know much about it. And I know that it exists, but I didn't know what name it had, because when the name popped up first, I had no idea. But yeah, we're heading there now. So, are you two excited for the festival? I remember writing wishes for Tanabata festival. Yeah, for Tanabata with my friends. I haven't gone to a festival in a while. Not since my parents were still alive, that is. She never. Oh, Mom glares at the rearview mirror to meet Yuri's eyes for a moment. Hope you'll be able to do their memories justice by having a good time today, then. Okay, in the meantime, she's also mentioned it to her. That's okay. Why did we skip that? I would have wanted to see that. Like when Yuri and I would together sit down and then she would properly explain everything. Why did we skip that? That's an important thing, but okay. As Mom and Yuri chat, I find myself lulled into a dazed, half asleep state by the sound of the car engine. The fact that Mom knows about Yuri's parents is a mark of how far their relationship has come. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to see it happen, because it feels a bit of a surprise right now. They've definitely become a lot closer. I'm sure that Mom already sees Yuri as a kind of daughter. Yuri certainly comes around to my house enough these days for Mom to see her that way. I can only hope that Yuri's come to see her as a mother figure too. The streetlights outside blur by in pale golden streaks as we drive through the neighborhood. It's a good thing my mom's still able to walk. It's a good thing my mom's still able to walk at home. To work at home. Otherwise, Yuri and I would have been walking outside in the cold. Mark, what? Didn't you hear us calling you? We're here. Ah, right. Sorry, I was falling asleep there. This should wake you up then. Mom opens the car door, causing me to immediately get blasted by a gust of cold night air. I'm instantly sent shivering. I guess that was an effective way to wake me up as any. Jeez, it's freaking cold out. We did tell you to bring a jacket, you know? I thought you guys were exaggerating. Well, she doesn't even have any long sleeve shirts on. I mean, Yuri always has long sleeve shirts on. But, what the hell? You know what they say about assumptions? Okay. Leave the lecture for when we get back home, please. I suppose we'd better get going then. Stay safe, you two, and have lots of fun for me. Sure thing, Mom. Woo, look at that. We shut the car doors, and after waving goodbye, we're left alone at the entrance of the festival. Also Japan has a lot of festivals and stuff. And a lot of traditional things, and also just in general just a lot of coming together things. I mean, like in the Netherlands, we don't really have. Well, of course, we have festivals, like music festivals, but that's a whole. I imagine a whole different mindset going to a music festival here than going to one of these traditional festivals in Japan. The bright lights of the festivals starkly contrast the darkness of the street. Starkly contrast the La Latina of the streets we've been driving through. Driving through darkness. Yes! Drive through even more, Kazuha! What's ordinarily a plain city street is now transformed by a multitude of colorful stalls and tables, decked out overhead by glowing lanterns. Crowds of people, completely empty, but crowds of people from all ages mill about, chattering and yelling away happily to create a cacophony of noise. As we step into the throngs, the temperature difference is instantly noticeable. Here, the body heat of dozens upon dozens of people, along with the heat from the foodstoves warm up the night. Heavenly smells of frying foods waft through the air, causing my stomach to gurgle expectantly. Oh man, are you hungry? A bit. Everything smells delectable. I'm definitely going to blow all my pocket money on food tonight. Ha, good choice. You've been saving up for this for a while, haven't you? You bet I have. It's not every day that I can indulge in this much junk food. Suddenly I feel a tap on my shoulder. Huh? Hey! Hello everyone! Hey Mark, fancy meeting you here. Behind me stand Monika, Sayori and Natsuki. It seems that they've just arrived too. What a coincidence! It's like fate. Ah well, this is a popular fest. Shouldn't there be an I? Popular? Or is that the Dutch writing? I don't know. So I don't doubt that we'll see other classmates as well tonight. Shush, don't ruin the magic, Yuri. You guys plan to come up together too, huh? Yep, Tanabata is a festival related to poetry after all, so I decided to make this into a club trip. Hey, why didn't we get an invite then? Idiots, you already mentioned that you were going with Yuri before. Oh yeah, I guess I did. You and Yuri make such a great couple here. Be sure to take lots of pictures. Thank you. Come on guys, let's not disturb these lovebirds any further. See you two later. The three girls soon disappear into the crowd, leaving Yuri and me alone again. Finally, no obstacles between myself and food. That's a Sayori line if I've ever heard one. Man, I can't remember when I've had such a good... Oh god. Okonomiyaki. Thanks for the explanation. The Japanese pancakes are bursting with... Oh. Oh, fucking shit, man. I'm fucking butchering all these words. Umami. Butchering with umami. Whatever that may be. Having been slathered in sauce, red soy sauce, like, even though there's no soy there, and piled high with various toppings. How's your dango? Yuri, ever the sweet tooth, has been nibbling on a couple of sweet dumplings for a while now. They're exactly how I remember them from when I was a child. I doubt they would have messed with the classic recipe as regular old dango. You never know, there are lots of modern variations of food these days. Have you been looking up recipes again? Looks like I got her. There's nothing wrong with variety. I know. I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. I know, you never mean anything in a bad way. Yeah, I was hoping that you would have already figured that one out by now, but okay. We make our way to the center of the plaza and settle down on a quieter bench together. Various bamboo trees are set up before us, with quite a few decorations and festival wishes already hung up on branches. The slender green stalks sway gently in the wind, rustling quietly as if whispering. Mark, you don't know how thankful I am that I met you. Honestly speaking, you've changed my life for the better. I couldn't have asked for a better boyfriend. I can't believe how good of a person you are. Hold up, Yuri, you don't have to gush out about me so much. I think you're giving me too much credit. But you have changed me. Well, I guess it did help some, but nothing would have mattered if you didn't decide to help yourself in the end. You're the one who put in so much effort to change. You're the one who decided to open up to me. And for that reason, I'm the one who's thankful that I got to meet such a wonderful and thoughtful girl. Plus, it wasn't me who helped provide you happy memories either. The rest of the club helped too, right? Especially Natsuki? Yuri leans into me, idly fiddling with my sleeve. You know what? You're right, I did help myself. I've always been scared to think well of myself and to presume that I have the willpower to help myself. But in the end, I think that's true. It's a bit frightening to think that I've actually come all this way. Frightening's the wrong words. Shocking, maybe? In the end, I suppose my support network helped me realize some things about myself. About myself, though. Because of all of you, I was able to identify my flaws and find the motivation to try to resolve them. You all treated me like a normal person. You didn't pity me or act like I was a fragile angel. Yuri, you're one of the strongest people I know. I never see you as someone to pity. And I'm sure the others feel the same. To be honest, I don't know if I would have been able to go through the same stuff you have. Yeah, that's exactly what I said when she opened up about the cutting for the first time. Like anyone put in that situation could have gone to that point, and a whole bunch of people perhaps a lot sooner than Yuri, because Yuri is she doesn't give herself enough credit for that. Because of course, yeah, like that. Well, we grew up in totally different circumstances, so we wouldn't be able to tell. But knowing you, I think you would have been able to do it, and probably in less time than it took me to. Hey, you're taking just the right amount of time with this stuff, in my opinion. That's a bit weird thing to say. Add to that, you're taking just the right amount of time because it's your time, it's taking just the right amount of time for you. It's your problem, you have to deal with it, so it's taking just as long as you need it to take. And it doesn't matter if it takes longer than what it says on the internet or what it says in books or whatever. It's your problem, it's not their problem, not the problem of the person that wrote that internet article, it's not the problem of the person that wrote that book or whatever. They had the same problem, but it was their version of that problem. And you are having your version of that problem. And you take it on your pace and no one else's pace. Just on your pace. So that's automatically the pace is good because it's your pace. As long when you try to take it faster or slower than what you want to do, that is when it gets incorrect. There's no use rushing something as delicate as this. I have faith in you, Yuri. I've seen how much time and effort you've put into changing. I know how strong you are. Mark, Yuri squeezes my hands in hers. Do you have the papers to write our wishes on? Yeah, right here. Oh, is this finally the expensive parchment paper that I bought? Do you know what you're going to write? I believe so. Don't peek. I wouldn't dream of it. We spent a few quiet moments scribbling down our wishes. I have to rack my brain for ideas before I settle on the perfect callback poem for Yuri. Do you want to see mine before I hang it up? Sure thing. Okay. My wish. Oh yeah, it has to be in poetry, right? Standing under the bamboo, I gaze at the stars. They twinkle steadily, tiny beacons in the night. As I watch them, I fill with expectation, hope springing out from my heart as I yearn for understanding. Wish for a meeting of perspectives, a way to change the world. My heart wavers as it turns to look at the ones around me. Guiding stars, their paths align with mine, leading me onwards towards the distant dawn. I gather my courage, reaching out to them. Holding them close, I pray for this feeling to last, yearning for the day I can accept this brilliance and make it my own, so that the star of my life might shine and light my way in the dark. I thought I'd make a return to form and write this one in free verse. Yeah, I noticed that. It's a nice throwback. You always kept a preference for free verse, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Although writing in meter and rhyme are interesting exercises, I always felt most able to express my true self using free verse. Also, I'm guessing that you wrote about stars because of the legend behind Tanabata? That's right. Well, I also thought that the stars looked beautiful tonight. But when I was thinking about it, my mind kept returning to the North Star for some reason. And it was then that I realized how fitting it would be to compare everyone in my life to guiding stars as a metaphor. Poetic as always, Yuri. But you know what? You're the star in my life. Yuri giggles shyly, softly taking hold of one of my hands. Thank you, Mark. And yes, you were one of the foremost people in my thoughts. There were you, the Literature Club members. Your mother, my parents, therapy. Wait, Yuri, you're going to therapy? Yes, I just decided to. I know that you've been advocating it all along, so that's great news. Getting a professional opinion, that's got to count for something, right? Mm-hmm. Now that I've learned how to fight my urges more effectively, I want to be able to stay clean for good. Sounds like she's on drugs, like stay clean, but yeah, I still get what she means, but yeah. And I figured that I might as well try therapy out. It's not like it could make me any worse, right? That's the spirit. You know, for a time I actually thought you might have regretted telling me about everything, but I'm glad to know that I was dead wrong about that. I don't blame you for thinking that. Come on, you've got to give me some blame at least. I shouldn't have ever doubted you. Man, now my wish is gonna be terrible compared to yours. I doubt that it could make you as happy as yours made mine. Well, you can let me be the judge of that. Oh, it's the wrong one. From me to you, it's summer and the stars are out. I think of the future and what this poem's about. Oh well, yeah, there's definitely a change in the way, in like the style this is written. I hope my friendships last much longer. I'd like to watch our bonds grow stronger. My days so far have been alright, but I'd like to help you, who's made my life seem bright. I'll be by your side if you're ever lonely. Where others may falter, I swear to be your one and only. Ah, that is extreme. That's a very nice one. Even if you don't feel whole, I'll give you a piece of myself to soothe the pain of your very soul, because you're important to me. As fragile memories shatter like glass, so will we rebuild them together, and another year will come to pass. I was actually thinking of the very first poem you ever showed me when I was writing this. I think it was titled Tumble, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I remember that you wrote about a missing part of yourself and not being important. So I decided to write about how you're basically the most important part of my life now. Like, you actually remember my poems enough to include some of their motives? How could I forget anything related to you? Mark, I love you. And I love you too, Yuri. I gently cup Yuri's face in my hands and kiss her, savoring the slightly sweet taste of her lips. As we break away for air, Yuri speaks up. Hold on. We will need to hang up. We still need to hang up our wishes. We approach a bamboo tree together. The colorful strips of paper bearing the hopes and dreams of dozens of people playfully twirl in the wind. Yuri beams up at me as we hang our wishes side by side. They spin together, constantly brushing against each other as if connected. And they are connected. Connected in that our hopes for the future are intertwined with each other. I can't imagine a future without Yuri at this point. Despite everything that may have happened between us, despite all the baggage from our pasts weighing us down, we can find strength in each other. We can learn together, change together, grow together. And we can move on to the future together. Oh, is that the end? Oh. Yeah, oh, is that the end? That's the end! Holy, okay, wow. I did not expect the game to end at all. Wow, okay. What the hell is that? Oh, is that me? Wow, okay. Hi, Sayori. Is everyone here? Yeah. And there's Yuri. Together with Natsuki. They have actual poets to help with that. Or at least people who wrote the poems. Monika, that girl whose name I've forgotten, Shiori or something. And her dog. And the teacher. And the mother. Why are they together? Is there some sort of weird shipping going on? Oh yeah, and then that girl, whose name I've completely forgotten. Well, I guess I got the good ending, because this doesn't really seem like a bad ending. Monika. I see you there, Monika. Don't do that. Aww. For staying with us for the ride, no matter how long it was. Aww. Oh, there. That's me, I guess. With orange eyes. Just like real life. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, wow. Okay. That is it. Woo! Well, yeah, I guess that was the good ending, because I don't really see how that could be the bad ending. Because, you know, Yuri and I were talking about our problems, and together we prepared to go into the future together. She's actually planning to go and see a therapist, because she feels comfortable enough doing that. Like, wow. And we even managed to suit things out between Sayori and between Natsuki and Yuri, and also with Sayori and I, even though it isn't as close. Wow, yeah, okay. So that was very well written. That was very good. I really like the the only thing right. Well, first of all, I'll start with the things I didn't like. I guess, and then I'll start with praising the game, because there's a lot to praise. I didn't really like the dialogue options during the argument with Yuri, because I understand that there had to be an argument somehow, but the guy was fucking saying all the wrong things you could possibly say wrong. And he has never said anything as wrong as that, like ever. And then all of a sudden he says all the wrong things in succession. So, you know, it's like, okay, so I don't know if you remember the episode. I was like screaming at the screen, like, why would you say this? Like, why would you say anything? Why would you say this? Or why would you say this in this way? Or whatever. Yeah, like, yeah. So that was a bit, that felt a bit forced. I mean, I understand that they wanted to have like a conflict part in there. So, yeah, I understand that is what had to happen, but yeah, just the way it happened felt a bit weird to me. It felt a bit out of character for my character. You know, he's been... I mean, yeah, my character is the most oblivious motherfucker ever, but at least he doesn't say any stupid things, like, for the most part. Like, pretty much the entire game, he always said shit that I would agree with, or something like that, or something that you could interpret as the right way. And then during that argument, he just said everything that you didn't need to say, that you shouldn't say to someone like Yuri, that you shouldn't say to any woman in general, or like your romantically involved woman in general, and things you could very easily interpret in the wrong way. Everything went wrong there. And then yeah, he was trying to be like, oh yeah, I think I was in the right in the very end. Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. Also, I kind of I have a bit of so that's the like I didn't like I like the part itself, like the conflict part. It was good that it was in there, but the way it was started it felt a bit weird to me. And also, I kind of have mixed feelings for the fact that we skipped all of the days after the first week. Because in the first week we went day by day, writing a poem every day and doing everything, and and then after the first act was over, we just skipped weeks and months left and right. I mean, I understand that they wanted to do that in order to what's it called? In order to move things along, because they wanted to get to like Halloween and Christmas, and of course if they're actually going to spend every single fucking day, of course it's going to take forever. So I understand that, but on the other hand, it felt very off balance for the rest of the game. I kind of preferred it if they sort of smoothed it out a little bit. There were also some ordinary days. I mean, there were some things that could have easily happened one day after the other, but there was a week in between, and that felt a bit weird. But in general, yeah, even though it felt weird at the beginning when I saw what they were doing, I was like, all right, well, I understand it, but still, in my opinion, that could have been fleshed out a little bit. Like maybe like the first week is the same, like where you write the poems, and then the week after that you could be like one more entire week, and then slowly start skipping some things to get to important parts. But I don't know. I'm not a game developer or like story writer or whatever, so I wouldn't know how that would have worked out. Probably would have been fucking horrible. But anyway, yeah, okay, that is Doki Doki Blue Skies. At least for Yuri, because I was planning to also at least go for the Sayori routes, because I also really wanted to see how things would go with Sayori and stuff. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to praise the game. What the fuck? Yeah, I love the story. I love the characters. I love the depth within the characters. Like, they've got more stuff going on at their own in their own lives. And they try to explain where their behavior comes from. In regards to the Yuri route, so to speak, I really like the sadness of it all. It sounds a bit weird, perhaps, but let me explain. Just the fact that Yuri can't seem to see herself as a likable person, and then all the while she does nice things. Like, for example, the moment that got me the most, which of course was during that one episode where I cried the entire time, was that part where we were sitting on the rooftop and Yuri had already mentioned a couple times over that she saw herself as a freak and as a monster, and she didn't understand why anyone would want to spend time with her or whatever. And then when she says all of that when she thinks all of that about herself, and she says all of that about herself without thinking or without mentioning or without just out of her own accord, she made lunch for me. And I'm like, yeah, that was extremely sad. I was like, what? I felt so desperate, so helpless. Like, why can't you see that you are a very nice person? And that was really well written. Also, the self-harming part was very of course, just the also the fact that the guy just took ages to realize that Yuri's parents were dead. I mean, she's constantly speaking about them in the past tense, and she always looked on very dreamily and stuff when she was talking about them, and refused to be ridiculously elaborate in the beginning and stuff. So you could have easily guessed that was going on, but the guy just was very oblivious. But okay, fine. But yeah, how that factored in with everything was very, very nicely done. And also, the self-harming parts, they actually tried to explain, and I think they did it pretty well, why anyone in general, why would a person have that urge to do that? Because she said she wants to feel the control and all that type of stuff. And then I looked it up on internet, and a lot of the things that she said are what is said on the internet as well. So I'm pretty sure they did their research. as to why people would fall into that habit. So yeah, yeah. In general, I think it was just written. It was just written really well, and I really warmed up to Yuri. Well, that was just in the beginning because, as I mentioned in the original, as I mentioned during my playthrough of the original game, Yuri is basically like a female version of me with a couple changes and a bit of a more exaggeration on some ends. But you know, she's just like a female version of me, like pretty socially awkward in the beginning, like but getting better at it during the course of the game, and in my case, like in the course of my life and stuff. Primarily only speak when spoken to. Try to choose the words carefully. Don't really want to like blurt things out all the time. Very passionate about various subjects and can talk about them for hours. You know, and just I automatically felt warmed up to her just because like her and myself personally were like rather similar. And then also the fact that she has lost both of her parents. I mean, unfortunately, I can also relate to her about that. That moment when that other moment when she was crying in the kitchen, like I really missed them. I was like, yeah, fucking hell, Yuri, I know exactly what you mean. And that was, well, sad and terrible, but also nice in a way. So, you know. But yeah, in general, it was just very well written. I went along with the ride and it was very enjoyable. And I managed to get the good ending, which is also nice because I don't know what the bad ending for Yuri is going to be. Like, is she gonna like continue cutting herself or something, or is she gonna break up at the very end? Or I don't want to figure it out, to be honest. Well, I want to read it, but I don't want to experience. I'm gonna Google it after I'm done here, but because I don't want to experience it because I just can't see myself getting a bad ending with Yuri. I just don't want. I don't. Not even for my. I want for her sake. I want her to be happy mostly above all. Not because, like, oh, she's gonna break up with me and I lose my lovely purple-haired girlfriend. No, because she deserves to have a happy life and I don't want her to have the bad ending. But yeah, I want to know what happens, just, you know, to see what happens. But yeah, I think I'm actually going to play this game one more time, but then get the Sayori ending, because most of the time I was thinking about Yuri, this entire series, because of course I was going for the Yuri route and making the choices in that perspective, and all that type of stuff. But if I wasn't thinking about Yuri, I think you may have noticed I was thinking about Sayori, because it felt so incredibly sad. Just the fact that she was like my childhood friend, and I felt kind of abandoned her because I was spending time with Yuri all the time. Although most of it was mostly because the guy in the game decided not to do things. Because I was screaming at the screen multiple times, hang out with Sayori today, why shouldn't we check up on Sayori today, why didn't we ask Sayori about this, why didn't we do that? Like, trying to be a better friend than the guy in the game, but eventually, luckily, things turned out alright. Although, it is, from our last encounter, face-to-face with Sayori, I think it was rather obvious that there was some hurt in Sayori there, but yeah, you can't have four girlfriends. You can't have Yuri and Sayori and Natsuki and Monika as your fucking girlfriends. I mean, I'm sure you can in some fucking weird country where it's allowed to have multiple wives. Well, not necessarily weird country, but in some countries where that's tradition, I guess you could. But, you know, like in Western society, it's normally not very acceptable to have multiple, like, wives/girlfriends. So, you know, you can't make everyone happy in that regard. But I just mostly felt so sad for Sayori, because I felt her hurt, you know, like she wanted to be like at least very close friends, and I bet she also wanted to be more than just friends. But I couldn't give it to her because I fell in love with Yuri, and I wanted to keep her as my normal, like, best friends. But, you know, just the whole thing about all those sequences where she was thinking of the past and stuff, and how we just drifted apart after that. That really hurts. That really hurt. I just imagined myself in like a situation where I would have lost a Sayori in my life. And yeah, just because kind of because of that fact, I would like to do the Sayori routes after this. And maybe just for the sake of it, I would also do Natsuki's route after that. Because I feel kind of very bad for Natsuki for leaving her out if I do just these two and then leave her out. So I'm gonna do another playthrough, but then with Sayori. And see how different all of that is going to be. And then what her problem... Well, we kind of know what her problems are, but how that story is going to develop. But, yeah. My main... This was my first playthrough, and I went for Yuri, and I'm happy that I did. Because... Yeah, everyone in the literature club needs help, but Yuri also. But yeah, it's not like I prefer Yuri needs the most help and none of the others need to receive help. That's not like that. But I'm just glad that I went with Yuri in the end. Just I'm not saying that she needed it the most, but yeah, no, I'm not saying that she needed it the most. But I'm just happy that I chose Yuri in the end. Anyone deserves all the love that they need, because I'm feeling that none of them get enough. I'm also very sad that apparently Monika doesn't have a route, because here they... Oh yeah, there's the 18 plus picture, and there's the other 18 plus picture. I'm hoping that there is not an 18 plus picture for Natsuki, because I think then we will have a FBI open up section coming in. Yeah, there's also these Monika things. Oh, crap. Sure you want to skip to the next choice? Monika... Serious chatting over, waving around. Oh, well, hang on. Return. No? Oh, can't I go back to... I can't go back to the... Oh yeah, here we go. Main menu, yes. Yeah. Maybe I'll do the Monika at the very end. At the very end, I'll do the Monika things, okay? Yeah, we know that players are disappointed by the exclusion of Monikas. Here are some Monikas that unfortunately couldn't make it into the completed mod. Like, yeah, I was a bit sad about that as well, because especially after Monika opened up to us, that she actually got a real character, you know, that she has extremely demanding parents and she doesn't really want... That's the biggest reason why she's a Class A student is because she's forced to be and not because she wants to be. That's also a very interesting story, but yeah, unfortunately you can't choose from Monika either way. So yeah, that was a bit sad also as well, but yeah, okay, they just decided not to do Monika, so okay, fine. So yeah, I guess I'll do Sayori. In the next episode we'll start the new game. We'll go for Sayori this time. After that we're gonna go for Natsuki, because I don't want to leave her out after I do both of them. And then at the very end I'll look through the extras and go through what they had planned for Monika. Yeah, okay, so yeah, let's do it like that then. But yeah, so it's not like I want to have as I said, it's not like I want to have oh, I'm going to make 4 girlfriends. I want to see what happens with Sayori, because as I said, if I wasn't thinking about Yuri, I was thinking about Sayori the entire time. So I wanted to see her. I want to make her smile as well. So I guess if this would be considered like an official story or series, I guess my route with Yuri is canon in that case. This is canon, because this was my very first choice, my first instinct, and I went for Yuri because I warmed up to her. I felt connected with her more so than the guy in the game, and yeah. Then when I go for Sayori, that's what's that? What would you call that if it's not canon? Non-canon or legends? Star Wars Legends. When I go for Sayori or Natsuki. But yeah, I will always say that Yuri was my first choice. And yeah, that's my official ending to this game, Yuri. So yeah, next episode we're gonna start with the Sayori routes, I guess. I don't know whether I will read everything or maybe just skip to parts to get to the ending, but then again you don't really form much of a connection when you skip through the game the entire time, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we'll see you in the next episode. Hope you Romans enjoyed it. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army. And I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valete.